Friendship groups. Making friends as a young. Hello everyone, Aqua here. Welcome to our 25th Families Grow Together show. My name is Aqua and I am an early intervention practitioner and I work with children and families. I support children who are delayed in their language development, and I also provide training courses for parents to be able to help their children if they're delayed, as well as parenting courses. Hi Nelly, welcome to our 25th show.
Hi Aqua, hi everyone watching. Welcome to this show today. This is the 25th, like Aqua has said. I am Nelly Kwasumi, a transformational life coach and a social worker, and a co-founder of Hand in Hand. So I focus specifically on emotions, whether for children, young people, adults. That's me. So over to Aqua, and I hope you have your ears, get ready to type in comments or questions, whatever you have in the comment, and we'll talk about it. Thank you. Over to Aqua.
Thank you, Nelly. And yes, welcome to our audience. Right, so last week we started a series of conversations talking about growing up as young ladies in Cameroon and what our social situation was like, our schooling and family life was. But last week we focused mainly on schooling. What was schooling like? Where did we go to school? What were the challenges that we faced as young girls growing up in Cameroon? And what kind of subjects did we choose to study? Were we given the orientation that we needed? Did we just choose courses because we just loved them, or did we have guidance? We talked about those things. So if you want to hear what we were like as young people, the kind of discipline that we had, then please go and check our show from last week. This week, we are focusing on friendships, social interactions as young girls. What were our friendship groups like? How did we make friends? Did we have close friends that we still have today? Or did we leave our friendships where we left them when we came to this country? So that is what we're looking at today. Nelly, first question I'm going to ask you, was it easy for you making friends when you were young?
When you say easy, I've just been thinking, oh, what is easy? I don't know. But when I was young, I easily interacted with people. I had friends, but I don't know whether it was easy to make friends, but I had friends. I didn't have many friends, but I had a few friends because I am an introvert. And at that time, I was extremely quiet. But what I could do, if I was given the chance to do it 24 hours, was to play. I had a lot of energy, and I'm not surprised till now I have that energy. So yeah.
Hi, mommy dance.
Yeah, so when I was young, from primary school, I remember I still have some friends that I made in primary school until date. We are still friends. Though we are still friends, it doesn't mean that we communicate every day, but we know that we care for each other and we are still very close friends. There are quite a good number of them.
Okay, thank you for that. I love one thing. You, well, maybe too. You said you were an introvert, yet you loved playing. That somehow, if you want to look at it from just the definitions of those words, it would seem like a contradiction in itself. But put yourself in any situation as a child. Most children, when the fun games going around, even the introverted ones, when they see the fun, they're going to join in. So, and growing up, we had lots of fun games that we had to play as a team. So being picked as a team, sometimes you'll be the first or the last person to be picked as a team, depending on your degree of awkwardness, whatever.
So the thing is how well you can play, because I just wanted to jump in there because, like, for me, I was very skinny. So anything that required jumping, I would jump till the highest. Like there's something called, I don't know how they call it.
So
So
skipping.
skip, it was not skipping rope because skipping rope is the one you turn, but this one you jump in the rope. And I could jump the highest one that you put your finger and hold the rope by your finger. So it's above the head. And that one I could play easily. So my friends would always, or when we were about to play, I was always picked because my team would win. So yeah, for that one, playing, it was just something that I could play and play, but if it comes to talking, I was not interested in talking. So it's really funny because even till now, sometimes when I reflect, I look at it and I'm thinking, it was not something that started today. It has always been there.
Right, okay, so that is very good. That's a good introduction. Right, as for me, I'm not sure whether I was introverted, but I played as well and loved CISO very much so. CISO was one of those games that we could play all day. During break time, you're looking for the people who can skip, who can fly. And that was me as well. I loved CISO and you could fly up air as described. So that was a fun game for us growing up as young girls. So making friends for me, I would like to say that when I was, not like to say, I think reflecting, looking back when I was younger, I wasn't very outgoing, but I loved to play as well. But I wasn't somebody who liked making friends very much. Now, sometimes people look at me as extroverted and I talk a lot, but growing up, I wasn't one of those people. I made friends in school. I had a couple of friends, not very many. I was friendly to everybody, but had very few close friends. And those friends are still my friends till today. Those who were considered my friends are still my friends today. One of my friends, I met them because when I was in primary school, we moved a few schools. So we're first in Bali, and then we went to Bambili, and then we came to live in Bamenda. And so after primary school, most of my primary school friends, I didn't really see them much, except one that I still in contact with on Facebook, that we're not really in contact, but we still know each other very much so. But there's one friend that I went to secondary school with, well, high school as they call it here, from Form 1 to Upper Seat, went to ENS with, and came back and went to Ngwekele with every class.
Oh.
Yes. So that is one of my friends that I am still in contact with today. Not every day, but yeah, that's one friend that has been consistent in my life for so long. So yes, I made friends, but I wasn't very extroverted when I was growing up because during school time, school holidays, when my brothers and sisters would go away for school holidays, I stayed at home reading novels. I visited nobody. So we'll talk about that later.
I think like for one of the things that really helped me, I was introverted, but I mean, at that time, I didn't know what was called introverted. I was very quiet, as it was described by so many people. And myself, I knew that I was really quiet. But one thing that my parents did that till date, I believe that really, really helped me and my siblings was that every holiday we attended holiday classes. And for the holiday classes, whether it was studying like academic work or doing craft, and the thing that I really enjoyed until today, I still do it, is craft. We did many, many different crafts. Like today, I know how to crochet, I know how to knit, I knit many different things, and it is from the skills that I learned. So that helped me because during the holidays, I will meet other children who are not in the same school as me and my siblings, and then it will help us just to have very little conversations because I am into the practical stuff and not too much talking.
That is so good. Yes, I remember I didn't go to many holiday classes, but I remember that when we were growing up, especially when you were in secondary school, the CWF, the Christian Women Fellowship in Babenda, they used to organize holiday camps for young girls. So so teaching us different things about ourselves and cooking and skills like that. But I went to 2 of those camps, and I can still remember one lady who said something that still stays with me to today, because she was quite a big lady, and I've always been bigger than my age mates. So she said, anybody who is, you young ladies who are a bit bigger, when you want to buy your clothes, don't go and buy clothes that are as big as well, because you tend to buy clothes that covers your whole body. No, don't buy clothes that are too big. Just buy clothes that are fitting, not too tight, but that are fitting for you, so that you can untie belts and things like that. So that gives you a bit of shape. So I always remember that lady when I think about things. When I go to the shop to buy something, that lady's name always comes to mind. So thank you, Mrs. Ndofo, if you ever hear this one day. So yeah, so those are some of the things that you remember growing up as children. So holiday classes and things like that are very good. And like you said, we learned loads of skills there. So, question. How many of your school friends growing up do you still keep in contact with, and are they close?
I don't know what you mean by close, but I
Close
keep in contact.
yeah.
Some of them, I can stay for months and years without speaking, but the day we speak like no ending. So yes, from primary school, I have a couple that I can remember at the top of my head. I know Marie Cyril, we were in primary school together, and we are still together. Actually, I think just yesterday we exchanged messages. So that's nice. And then I have another, Tam Yvonne. We are not really communicating regularly, but we know that we communicate when it's necessary. We still remain friends. And there's Kuala Helen. We don't communicate regularly, but when we have the opportunity, we talk just important issues or important matters. And there's Lefe Maxeline, we're in primary school together. And yeah, I think at the top of my head, I know there are many others, like there's Ngwa Belinda, there's Ndifo Loughlin, there's, who else? I know there are many. This one just came out. These are I don't know if I've counted 5 or 6. But these are primary school friends. And going to secondary school, here we call it high school. I had a friend because I moved I was in the village when I was in primary school, but I went to secondary school in town. So I was the only one from my school who went to my secondary school. And then I made another friend from first week in secondary school, in boarding school, until I left. I was there for 4 years. I had one friend, and she is Mother Stella. I haven't been in contact with her because I lost her number. She's still in Cameroon at the best of my knowledge. And I've not been able to get in contact with her, but I still pray. I want us to meet once, because before I left Cameroon to come here, I saw her. But since I came here, we've lost contact, but still pray for her. And I hope that one day we'll meet, because my secondary school life, we shared it together. So that part of me is
especially as you were in the boarding school as well.
Yeah, because we were like each other's keeper.
Yes.
We were in the same class, the same age, the same. I mean, we used to go on outings together, so we're really, really close. And she too was very quiet like me, so I think that was something that bonded us together.
Right. Okay, that's great. So as for me, friendships in primary school, I think because some of the people I had with was in primary school with, later on went to the same high school as I did. We separated for secondary school because not very many of them went to most of them went to boarding schools during the first cycle. So from year 7 to year 11, as they'll call it here, they went to boarding schools, but I went to secondary school, so I stayed at home. But some of them were reconnected when we were in high school, because we then went to Kasbambili. And so we reconnected there. And a few of them, I still keep in touch on Facebook, just like Facebook friends. You click, you like the pictures here and there, happy birthday here and there. But when I went to secondary school, I made most of my friends growing up in secondary school were boys. There was only really one girl, like the Jackie that I said we grew up, went to year 7 to university together. She was the only one with whom I was really close as a girl. I had other acquaintances and other friends, but that was the only person that I actually visited in their own house when I was in first cycle. But most of my friends in school, when I was in secondary school, were boys, because we walk home together. So people like Florentine Foncha, like Sama Pitelsi, we used to walk home together because we all lived in Kwen. So as you're walking home, people are branching and going up the houses, and they end up with 2 people. Pitelsi finished by 2, and then Florentine will walk up and Foncha Street Junction will separate. I'll go home and he continues to my 3. So that's how the friendship groups were. So most of my friendship groups, most of my friends in secondary school were boys. Then when I went to high school, I met a group of friends in Kasbambili. I was in boarding school then. So I got to know some new people, some of whom are very close friends today, like Ango, like my friend Kami in America, Edna in Canada, and we still keep in touch today. And we talk quite frequently these days. So especially somebody like Komi, I talk to Komi all the time. Ango, I'm online with Ango every couple of weeks. So yes, some of those friendships have become like sisters, and we share a lot of intimate things together now. So if I'm struggling with something, I can call them and like, okay, this is what I'm struggling with. They'll advise, they'll pray, they'll give me perspective. So some of those friends are like sisters today, and we still keep in touch. So yeah.
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, it's really nice when you have those friends that you had from when you were really young, because those are the people who know you for who you truly are and not this mask person that you are now. So it's really nice. So for myself, after high school, I went back to the village, to Nkambe, and that was where I went to. Here they'll say college, but in Cameroon they'll say high school. So I went to high school there. So I met some of my primary school friends, and I made new friends there. So again, because I was the food prefect, and people like food. So yeah, so it was really nice. And then when I was in Lower Seat, I stayed at home, but then I was made the prefect when I was going to Upper Seat. So in the school, every prefect in Upper Seat had to stay in the dormitory. So I moved back into the dormitory, and I made lots and lots of friends, and which some of us today, we communicate, but some of them we don't communicate regularly. But one good thing is we are in an alumni. So I would say sometimes I don't really participate, because sometimes a message will go off, and by the time I look at my phone, it's like 500 messages. And I'm thinking, how on earth am I going to read 500 messages? And then it's so hard. And then from there, I've just been stepping back, and then within a week, there are like 1,500 messages. And I said, you know what? I don't even know where to start, because it's too much. I really want to know what's going on, but sometimes it's just too much. So, but yes, the friends are still there. I believe that they know that though I don't participate regularly, but I have them at heart, because now and again I will greet them. Even if I don't greet in the forum, I will greet them personally, and they know that if there's anything, I would like to participate. So friendships are really, really good.
Oh, that's amazing. Yes, I also belong to my high school alumni, and we've been planning a reunion for for a while now. And last couple of years ago, they had a reunion down south, but I was unable to go, and it killed me when I saw the pictures. I'm like, we're hoping to meet again, but unfortunately, one of our classmates died, Mungo, God rest her soul, and probably we'll see lots of classmates there when we go for the funeral. But yeah, that is not a happy thing, because you think of if your classmate dies, it's like it death confronts you in the face, because it could be any of us. And so, and she was so young. Yeah. So anyway, so hopefully,
Rest in peace. Yeah.
friends, when we go down there to her funeral. Right. Okay. From the sad stories. Now, let's talk about our children in this country, the young girls in this country. How easy is it for them to have friendship? Do you think they make friends that will last for life, or do you think their friends are just Facebook, Snapchat friends? Do you think it's as easy for them to make friends as it was for us growing up? You've got young teenagers as well, don't you? So let's hear it.
I think something that I've just picked up with you today is easy. It seems as if you just have to be saying easy, which I've told you. I don't know what easy.
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
Because your easy will not be my easy, and vice versa. Anyway, for the sake of this
was it difficult making friends then?
Okay, I will talk about my children and making friends in this country. When we came into the UK, and the school where we settled, and the school that my children attended primary, because at the time, I had 3 children at that time, and they were in primary. The school they attended had only one Black family in that school, and there were just 2. That family had 2 children, 2 girls in the same school. The first girl was in the same year as my first daughter, and her sibling was in the same year as my second daughter. So that helped them, because they were like, oh, I can see someone the same skin color as me, the same hair as me, and things like that. But when my daughters went to school, they came back, and there were many things that they thought that because they had been doing it, everyone had to do it. For instance, their skin, they know that they had to shower they shower every day. But when they had conversations in school, they would say, why is your skin? You've got a really ebony skin, those kind of stuff. And they were really surprised, because they didn't know that it was anything special. And they would say, yeah, I shower every day and I moisturize. And they were like, what? You shower every day? And they say, yeah, sometimes even twice a day, it depends. And they were like, how can you be showering twice a day? Or even once a day? It's too much. And then they came and they were really surprised that, Mom, this is what happened. So one thing that really, really affected my daughter, and I'm saying this because I'm very certain it affected her friendship, was that my daughter used to enjoy washing the plates at home. But then one day she came and she was like, Mom, I don't want to wash the plate. And I was like, why? She said in school, they were talking about the activities when they get home, what they do. And she said, when she gets home, saying it with all the joy. And when I get home, I wash the plates, I wash the pot. And she was very happy doing it. But then the friends were like, what? You do that? How much does your mom pay you? And she was like, what? How can my mom pay me? My mom cooks the food. She buys the food, she cooks the food. And she said, no. And then after some time, my daughter did not want to wash the plate. And obviously it impacted her friendship with the friends in school, because very different perspectives. So I had to sit her down and I said, listen, And around that period, it was when one child, I think it's Shannon Matthew, was, or was it her? Yeah, it was around that time. So I said, okay, think of it. Do you want me to provide you with everything that you need and then don't care for you? Or I care for you? Or the other way around? I said, look at that case. She was the one who was even analyzing that case about that girl who was missing. And she was found in her home under the bed. So I was like, how do you want me to treat you? I gave her the option. And she was like, Mom, I just want you to love me the way I am. And I was like, okay. So, but I had a good conversation with her and I said, those are your friends' perspectives. You have your own perspective. Choose what you want, but know that if your friends are telling you what they do, your friend's house and their routine, their rules is not the same as ours. You've got to be careful. But yeah, they went on and they both of them have some friends that they made in primary school, like this particular friends that I talked about. Both of my daughters are still friends with those two Black children. But I think a year or two after, other Black families joined. And I think it's just that aspect that being Black, the community that we lived at that time was predominantly white, and they had not seen Black people before. So imagine you go into, say, walking and someone stops you and touch your skin. How is your skin is so nice? Your skin is, how do they call it? And things like that. And yeah, so I think it's a matter of perspectives. You are on mute, Aqua.
When am I going to learn about technology?
Oh, well.
Right. So I've got teenagers at the moment as well. Growing up here is quite different from growing up in Cameroon, I would say. Making friends here is quite different from making friends in Cameroon, because here, if they go to school and they make friends in school, sometimes they do not see each other again outside school, because those friends live in different places. And as such, if they're not around where you're living, because most often than not, we drop the kids in school and pick them up. And so they're not walking home with those friends that they've met in school, or the friends live in other areas. And so the friendship most often than not stays in school, unless the parents organize play dates, or invite you to the birthday parties, and they get to know the parents, and then they get to know each other, and then they start visiting one another. So my girls, I would say, Azingwe is more of the sanguine type personality. So she is in the center of the crowd. And so she easily talks to people, I would say. Tony as well also pulls a crowd as well. He's quite a crowd puller. And so I think he makes friends easily. Mia, I don't think so much. She's more reticent and more reserved. But she will talk to everybody, but making friends and getting close to people, I don't think she does that as, I don't want to say easily.
It's good you call yourself that.
I do. So yeah, so they've got friends, and in their own classes, and they've got now that they're going on the bus in high school, they've got friends who they meet on the bus every day. I would say who they probably call friends, but mostly acquaintances, because they don't really meet. And then these days they meet their friends online. So that is one difference now that we have with friends, the way friendships work here and the way friendships work with us, because back then, growing up, we didn't have phones and mobile communication. And so if you had to see a friend, you had to physically remove yourself, walk to their house, or you meet on the field to play. But as here, children, the friends, but you never see physical friends. You only hear them on gadgets, chatting with their friends or playing on the PlayStation and things like that. So that is one big difference with making friends. But yes, my kids have a few physical friends that I have seen.
Yeah, it's really good when they have friends. I remember around 2010, there was an area that we lived, the house that we lived, it was a close. So the vehicles that came in couldn't go out unless they do a U-turn and go. So the street was really safe. And surprisingly, on that, the surprisingly comes after. So on that street, we were the only Black people on that street. But surprisingly, all the children on that street played together. So, and it reminded me so much of me growing up, because when they come back from school, straight away, all of them take off their uniforms, they're outside, they play together until, if it's a time for them to eat, they'll go into their various houses, get their food, and come and sit on the street and eat. To me, it was really nice because that is the lifestyle I knew. And that is how they were just living on that street. When something is going on with one person, the others will know. And it was just so nice because to me, it was that time that children were just being children because they were each other's keeper. They wouldn't go out of the street, but they would play on the street. And because the adults who were driving knew that the children were playing on the street, they would drive on the street at like 5 miles per hour, very slow. So yeah, that experience was really good.
Yeah,
But after that, we've not had that kind of community where the children are really together.
That is so true, because that is the same experience we had when mine were in primary school, because we lived in it's almost like it wasn't a close, but it was an enclosed area. So the house was like in a U shape, like a horseshoe type arrangement, and so there was a courtyard in the middle, and all the children used to come out and play. They were always inside our house because we don't even now we don't lock our doors. You can just come to my house and open the door and you come in. And when we moved to the second house that we moved to, it was the same. It was a close like yours, and there were quite a few little children who were primary school age, similar age as my children, who lived there. And somehow they always converged to mine. It always happened that all the children came to my house. So I don't know why, but the kids just, they loved each other, they played together. As in, you had a friend who was like 3-4 doors down, and they used to do sleepovers with each other. So now we moved to another area. Everybody now is in high school. Kids do play outside here. I think it's easier for the primary school kids to converge and just play without worrying about whether who is who. Because now we're in an area, yes, there are other young people around, but mine don't mix. So with the teenagers that are around here, because they don't know them, they don't go to the same school or anything. So I think primary school children, it's easier for them to easily just make friends because they just come outside, they're playing together, and it's easy to just join in and play.
Yeah, I think so. But like for now, with my children, I mean, each of them has their friends. I mean, because here they easily make friends depending on the age. So they have like the age group friends. And for all of my children, they have their friends. Like for my first, she has friends that she still keeps friends from primary school and high school and even university. She still keeps in contact with her friends. And same with my second daughter. She has friends from primary school, high school, college, and university. And my third daughter, she has friends from primary school, high school, and she's in college now. She still has the friend. And like with my fourth child, he has friends And like you said, primary school friends were primary school friends, just everyone. But now very selective. He has friends whom they go to school. Some of those friends that they go to school, they play football. So he has football friends and school friends.
Yeah.
But what they have in common is on their PlayStation, they all hang out on their PlayStation. And sometimes they organize and have like a day out. They go to wherever, whether they want to just go and hang out, whether in the park or wherever, which is really good because I like it that way, because they are not or he is not stuck on his gadget. Because if he's at home, and I always tell him, play for so much time and you take a break. He might go and do something for like 5 minutes, but that 5 minutes, the way he will explain it is like 1 hour. And when he sits on the gadget, he can sit there for hours and he will not even realize it. So, but friendship is really good. But I know, because I've been told that some of the Black children, children from the Black community, they really struggle to make friends with other Black children, because probably the area they live, so it's not, they don't have that opportunity to have people, their skin color, because they will talk things that they will understand. So they are forced to make friends with only the white people from the white community. And they feel that there is a gap, because there are certain things that if they explain or if they talk about, the white folks will not understand them. So I don't know if you've come across that, but I've come across situations like that, yeah.
I haven't come across anything like that, but one thing that I agree with you about is the fact that a lot of us live in different areas. And so thankfully we have a community organization that we meet with our friends from the community from Cameroon every month. And so our children get to mix with one another and get to know each other, and they form their own little WhatsApp group where they communicate with one another. That is great. But because we live in areas where there may be Black people around us, but because our children do not know them or they're not in the same school, they will not form those friendship groups because they do not even know them.
Yeah.
And so you form their friendship groups with people with whom you share something in common. And so even though they may be Black, that's the only thing that they share in common. And so that is not enough to make a friendship. You need to get to know somebody in order to call them friends. And so in school, it's easier to make friends with the people in school because you're there every day, you get to see them every day, you talk to them, you share the same classes and things like that. So I've not really come across the fact that, or mine have not said that they have any issue with making friends. And thankfully, they've got a few Black kids in their schools school as well, and they have those kids as friends in addition to other children from other ethnic communities. So that's a good thing. One thing
I just thought I'd share that because it's not my children who has that problem. It's a couple of parents have talked to me about it. So I just thought I ask if you are aware or if you've come across.
But it's something to encourage, even in church. But I was going to bring this up because the difficulty is getting to meet these friends. Because we live in a community where, when I was growing up, I wasn't somebody who liked going out to visit people anyway. But if I wanted to visit anybody, I just asked permission from my parents. I want to go and see this friend. And I got up, walk wherever, however far the distance was to the person's house. But here in this country, the distances between homes of our friends, of the kids' friends, you have to take them to see their friends. You have to be their taxi driver to get them to see those friends. So it's not as easy for them to visit their friends as it was for us because we could just easily get up, walk to a friend's house and come back, and that was it. But here, they're living in such different areas that if the parent doesn't take them there, or if the parent is not able, is not confident enough to let them go on their own on the bus or tram, then they don't get to see their friends. Have you experienced that? Well, what do you think about that?
I think probably because, like, okay, I would say, like, for me, I used to be the Uber driver a lot of the times until, I mean, I've passed that now to an extent, but like now, I would say my third daughter, what she does now is she plans, like when she, after college, she might plan to hang out with her friends. So then she gets the bus to college and then she gets the bus to her friends and things like that. But then if it's weekend, I'm still the Uber driver sometimes. Or sometimes she gets the Uber. And then like with my son, yeah, I mostly take him to places. But there was a time he got his bike and he was over the moon. And he said, Mom, you know what? You don't need to drop me places. I can go. So he was going with his bike. So,
but then that depends on whether the friends are close by, isn't it? It's bikeable distance.
yeah, it's bikeable. I mean, it's that bikeable distance. Yeah. But then some of the friends are, I mean, because most of his friends go to the same school, that one is bikeable distance. It's not so far. He can ride there because now and again, like some Saturdays, they hang out. So they can go to each other's house, and the parents, we know each other. So it makes it safe. Not really safe. It makes us know where our children are. Because if they come to mine, the other friends know that, the parents know that they are at mine, and vice versa. So we know where the children are, which makes us, it gives us peace of mind, especially now that we hear a lot of things happening. So yeah, it's really good to know the parents of your children's friends.
You cannot even not know, because parents are very reticent now. Yeah, I want to go to this person's house. Who is this person? I don't know them. I don't know their parents. And you get to know their parents if you don't get to meet. So, so sometimes when they form their friendship groups, we limit, we are sometimes obstacles to their friendship groups, because if they're dependent on us for transport and you're busy and you're driving and you have to take them there, then sometimes they don't get to go see their friends as much as they would want to, because parents are busy and they're unable to take them. Whereas growing up for us, even if it meant walking 5 miles to go and see a friend, we went, because we're not dependent on parents to take us. And it was safer, it was a safer environment anyway.
Yeah.
About kidnappings here and molesting children on the streets here and there, as much as we hear about here. So the safety aspect was also quite, Right. I want to ask another question. Did you need permission to go see your friends when you were growing up? Or could you just get up, come back from school and decide, I'm going to see my friend, and just go?
Oh, yes, we had to get permission. We had to get permission before going, because my mom, I really, really appreciate my parents, and especially my mom, because she was really strict. And because she was strict, it helped me and my siblings to be disciplined. My dad he was very quiet, but both of them did not give any of us, the children, the opportunity to be manipulative, because if you say one thing to my dad and you go to my mom, they will say the same thing. So to us, at that time, we thought that they were thinking the same. So then they closed us. We could not manipulate. I mean, everyone has a tendency to manipulate, but if you are given the opportunity, you make use of it. So we were not given that opportunity, but we had to take permission. And we could only go to the friends that my parents, especially my mom, knew the parents. Like the few friends that I mentioned, we could go to their house. Like for Cham Yvonne, she lived, I would say, around 10 minutes walk from our house. And also Kuala Helen lived about 10 minutes from our house. So we could go there, but we had to take permission from our parents. And because we had a certain time that we had to be home for, we always respected that time.
Curfew.
In
See,
Togo.
you should not go dark when you're still outside, eh?
No.
Or with trouble.
The way you are talking, you know it too well.
Excuse you? Stringness galore. When I was in secondary school, so the first 5 years of high school, I never really visited anybody because I wasn't that person. I would rather stay at home and read my books. So I read a lot of novels when I was in first cycle. So in year 7 to year 11, I was always at home. I hadn't visited any, I didn't really visit anybody when I was in lower sixth. But when I went to high school to sixth form, that's when I made these friends with Ango, Komi, Edna. And so when we came, because we were in boarding school, so we were together, we got to know each other well. And so when we came for holidays now, I'll say, okay, I'm going to Edna's house, which was like more than 5 miles. So, new layout. We lived in Frontier Street. So I would go and visit Edna in new layout, and Komi was in Maitri. Maitri wasn't that far, so it was like 1.5 miles away. So near Heli Mission, Full Gospel. Do you know where that was?
Yeah.
I go and visit Komi there. Ango was living in where we were. Time to Ango's house was like 10 minutes. So these were the few people that I visited when I went to high school, because these were the friends that I made. Until today, we're quite close. And our parents knew each other anyway as well. So yeah. So, but that's different for our kids. Now, my second one, she can go on the bus. Now she's going out, going to parties. The one who this weekend she went out like 3 times this weekend. I'm sure it took its toll on her. Yeah. So, like you, yes, I had to get permission to go and visit friends. Otherwise, you get into trouble. At one, when we were in primary school, I'll never forget this story. When we were in primary school, with our aunts lived like a couple of miles away from us. And we came back from school one day and we told our dad that we wanted to go and visit Auntie Mary. And he said, no. And we said, okay. And then he went out.
And then you went.
And then we went. And then he came back before us. And that day we were trashed. And that was one of the first days that my dad ever beat me. My dad beat me 3 times in my life. That was I think that was the first day that he beat me. That I can remember that he beat me. So yes, so if you don't want to go out, you do not go out. Otherwise you get into trouble. Right. So do you encourage your children to go out and see their friends?
When you say encourage, I don't know what that means.
As in,
but
get them out of the house.
But I let them. I have made my children I've encouraged them to be liberal. If they want to do something, they decide for themselves. I don't decide for them. But then they need to come and let me know. I don't know if it's the aspect of permission or what. Let me know that they are going somewhere. Sometimes, because like I tell them, sometimes it's just for information's sake, for security's sake. I need to know where you are going to and who you are going out with. Like when, okay, I mean, for all my children, when they are going out, because I know most of their friends, some of their friends come to mind. And when they are going out, sometimes because now we text, we are in the house, but sometimes it's easier to text each other. So they just text me, or we just text each other, and they say, "Mom, I'm going to da 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 da." I say, "Who are you going out with? Where are you?" Things like that, just to know where they are going out to. But I don't encourage them to go out. If they feel like going out, but like with my son, because he has a few places to go to. So he's like, I'm going somewhere. It's like, I take permission from him that let's go somewhere. And I'll be like, okay. But recently he has said, oh, Mom, I can't wait to be old enough not to go places with you. And I'm like, that's fine. That's fine. I said, but when you go, you enjoy yourself, don't you? He said, yeah, but he knows that he will go with me. But sometimes if he does, sometimes he says that he won't go. And if I say that um one of my children will be at home and it's safe for him to be there, I said, that's fine. Because instead of me taking him out with me when he'll go and he'll be frowning and he'll not enjoy himself, I prefer to leave him at home so he can play his games with his friends. But yeah, I mean, I take that permission from him because I can't just pull him to go with me. I always inform them and vice versa. So I think it's something that they have learned because when I'm going out, I tell them that I'm going somewhere. And it's like when I'm coming back, let's say they know I'm going somewhere and by a certain time, I'm always home. If that time reaches and I'm not home, can imagine from all my children sending me messages, Mom, where are you? Mom, are you okay? And things like that. And they know that because they do that to me, they know that I do it to them. And sometimes I pull back. I pull back like sometimes because they have the expectation that I'll always check on them. Sometimes I don't. And I remember like once one of my daughters, when I think it was my second daughter, she went out. I think she went like on a holiday, and the first day I did not check on her because I was like, you have gone. You need to text me. But I was just like, you know what? Because I was helping myself not to want to be in control, because I just want to be let go, because what is it that I have to be checking on her all the time? Because sometimes it's attached to fear. But I was no, 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 I won't get in contact with her. The first day, I think she went to London. The first day, I didn't contact her. The second day, I didn't. And then she came back home on the third day. And she came, I opened the door, and she was like, Mom, I can't believe you don't love me anymore. And I was like, she said, for 3 days, you didn't even check on me. I said, oh, for 3 days, you didn't even check on me either.
It's reciprocal, isn't it? It has to be a two-way thing. Sometimes I think that it is just your job to look out for them when and not the other way around. Something could have happened to you as well. So,
I mean, because sometimes when I do things repeatedly, sometimes I realize that I'm doing it for a reason. I'm doing it too much and it's not good. So I take a step back. And this one really helped me. I realized it at some point when I thought I was coming up with OCD. And I was like, no, 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 no. I need to take a step back and just yeah.
That's so good. Yeah, when you talked about them checking on you and checking on each other, I told you on Tuesday that when I come back home, because I'll come back late, first person who asked me, and it happened. I'm like, when I entered, where have you been? I'm like, what do you mean, where have I been? You're late. Am I late? Like, you only have permission to be out late for one night, and that is Wednesday when you're going to Bible study. Apart from that, you should be coming home. I'm like, seriously? And that was your son. Like, like seriously? You miss me? No. He didn't mean
These
I
children.
need to be home on time.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, so sometimes they pretend like they don't care, but when they really do
Oh
care.
yeah, that's it, yeah.
That was funny. Anyway, for me, if they want to go somewhere, usually I'm quite liberal as well, somehow. And you can go. And if it's somewhere that you can go without me having to drive you, then yeah, so that's good, go. But I need to know when you're coming back, I need to know with whom you're going. I need to know what you're going to do, even if it's just for information's sake. So it's important for us to know where our children are. And yes, sometimes they will tell going this place and they go and then they get carried away and go with their friends and maybe they go to the cinema or whatever, or they do things that go and do shopping or things that they said they were going to the fair and then they end up going to the shopping center or whatever they decide to do later. But at least know that they've gone out with this person and know where they are going so that you can easily track and find them if need be. So,
Yeah, that's true. Because like sometimes, I mean, sometimes it's like, especially with my third daughter, she's like, she just texts me in one day. Sometimes she can text me like 20 times. And she'll just leave the house to the bus stop and she'll send me a text message. Mom, I'm on the bus. Mom, I just missed the bus. And I'm like, why do you need to be telling me? But again, when she sends it like that, I will reply. Because when I don't reply, she'll be like, oh, Mom, you ate me.
I have one daughter who always keeps me up to date. And then I've got a son and the last one who can go and go and go and go and go and forget that they need to update me where they are. They're like, they just forget. Like, so enjoying themselves, they don't care. And you have to start chasing them, calling them. My phone was dead. And then you see a foreign number call you. Well, not foreign number, a strange number call you. It's my friend's number. My phone is dead. So that's so good. It's good to have these updates because I've got a friend in America. When my second daughter goes out with her friends, and I said, oh, she's gone out to a birthday party or they've gone to a restaurant with her friends. I'm like, do you know the friends? I'm like, no, I don't know all of them. They are classmates. One's just turned 18. They've gone out for their 18th birthday. What time is it? When are they coming back? I'm like, why are you worried? Like, in America, we don't leave our kids here, go out anyhow. We have to know. I'm like, here we have buses. They can easily come on the tram, on the bus, and it's safe enough for them. Even though there is insecurity, but it's quite safe here to a certain extent compared to America. So I don't have that same kind of worry that some parents, maybe it's my personality as well. I always say I hold nobody too tight. I hold everybody lightly in my hand. So you can easily slip off and on. It depends on how you want the relationship to be, how close you want the relationship to be. So for me, I believe that we need to help our children become more independent and not be totally dependent on us. Know that, okay, they know that you're there for them, but allow them to be their own person as well. So that is something that
I think that one you've said something that is really important. And like I say, we parents, we take our fears and transmit them to our children, which is really, really disastrous because we, the parents, we think that we are protecting our children. We don't want them to make mistakes. But when we hold our children, they miss out that chance in their life where they want to adventure. And then when they pass that stage, it's like they have missed that stage in their life. And then at some point, they'll need to go through that stage. So they'll go backwards. And it's because the children overprotected, the parents overprotected their children. Like, for me, there's no, I mean, I've had conversations with my children that sometimes I think, I mean, when I was growing up, even sometimes I have those conversations with them and I feel very uncomfortable because I'm thinking, I didn't have this conversation. Even as at my age, some of the conversations I haven't had, but I know they come up with questions to ask because they want to know. And I would prefer to have those conversations with them rather than letting them go and hear from their friends who are not experienced, but will tell them whatever they know. So we have some of those conversations. So yeah, it's
That's true. That's true. Yesterday I delivered my first trainer.
Hey, well done.
Professionals. Hey. And so when we're talking like this, the whole of today, all my interactions at work, the training has been playing on my mind because the foundation of the training, the Solihull approach training, is based on relationship. You have to have to deal with people based on relationship. And as parents, if you as a parent, you don't have that relationship, that reciprocal relationship with your children, it's quite difficult because we need to be able to contain our children's emotions and give them the headspace in order to be able to free them up to be independent. And we as parents need headspace as well to be able to deal with issues. And like when we kept doing the training, I was thinking about you and emotional well-being, and I'm thinking that this so marries together with what we do in hand, because all what we do in hand is based on relationship. And the children's programs that we do is on relationship, because without relationship, nothing functions. Tony Robbins says that your life, the quality of your life depends on the quality of your relationships. And so if your relationships are not working right, then there will be a hole in your life somehow. So it is important that we help our children develop the right relationships. We allow them to make mistakes, but our job is to guide. If we give them the information that they need, if we give them that space to be able to come to talk to us about these things, then we'll empower them to be able to go out there and make their own decisions, because you don't want your children to always come to you for approval of anything that they want to do, because then they'll be constantly dependent on somebody else making a decision for them. You want to be independent enough to make their own decisions. And I hold my hand up. I used to be like, why are you doing that? No. If I were the one, I would do. And Mia always pulls me up and says, no. When you say that, you're indirectly giving me your opinion. And when you give your opinion, it means that I have to act on it.
Yeah.
I'm like, this child, who gave you all these things? So I have to constantly pull back and reevaluate what I'm saying and take on what she has said as well, because it's not enough for me to just say, okay, acknowledge that she has done it and then leave it at that. So I have to pull back and let her make a decision on what she wants to do. She wants to say something. What do you want to say, Mia?
There's something about you that I think about.
Okay, let her come on to stand on the screen and say it, please.
No, I don't need to be on the screen. But I remember something back in, so this was still when I was still in primary school, and I was tiny. I remember that much. In the kitchen in the court, I was barely the height of the kitchen table. Anyways, I wanted a cup of tea, and I wanted to make tea. But I didn't. But you were taking a long time to make tea. Well, to come and help. I was asking you, and you weren't coming. So I went to go ahead and make myself a cup of tea, and I was doing it according to you, like with the boiling water and milk, but I've used the wrong blend of tea. And then you're like, what what are you doing? Why are you doing this like by yourself? Did I not tell you that I was coming here to do it? Now look what you guys go on, drink it.
This is live TV. You're kidding me.
What you guys would do when we were younger and we'd make a mistake, you'd be like, you punished us with that mistake as if that mistake wasn't punishment enough. And it'd be like, we never want to do anything in front of you. And punish you for a mistake that was like, it was like,
have mercy.
in my tiny mind, because like I still think the same way as I think now, because look, in my head I was thinking logically, like, but what I've done isn't even that big of a deal. I used the wrong tea bag.
Okay, thank you.
You did your best.
And you got into trouble for it.
I think it's like, I don't know how to explain it.
It's the control in me.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah. No, joining next time you join the conversation live.
We learn every day. So yeah, sometimes it's to bring out that aspect in us that we don't even know that
we have, yeah.
Thank you so much,
Mia.
Mia.
Holding me accountable much more recently, because they don't allow me to get away with stuff these days, which I am grateful for. I like
your teachers.
Yes, I am very grateful for, because I don't want to be living in a world and thinking that everything is fine when everything is crazy. So I welcome the I'm glad that we have this relationship that she is able to come and join the conversation, even in the back.
Yeah. They say if you feel very comfortable, start looking, because it's time for you to move.
Wow.
Okay. I think
how long this today again. This reminiscent, thinking back, nostalgia about childhood is us talk quite a lot. So
yeah, quite nice. And then I think our time is up now, and it's been really great. Because it's our personal experiences, we can talk and talk and talk, but then we have time limits. So for the topic today, social interactions on friendships, we'll end that here for today. And next week we'll be talking about family life.
Family life, that's going to be quite interesting. If you want to know more about what we do, you can visit our website on www.hanhandcommunitycic.com. Again, www.hanhandcommunitycic.com. And what should they do if they have something that they would like to talk about, Nelly?
So contact us either by text message, or you go to our website and send us a message, or ring any of the numbers that you find on our website, and we will arrange that and get in contact with you. And we'll get in contact with you.
Right. So if you struggle with your mental health, or you want to know more about emotional well-being or child development, then contact us and we will support you the best we can, or point you in the right direction if we're unable to support you. All right, then.
Okay.
Enjoy this show today, and we've had fun with us talking about our lives and our children's lives. And God bless you.
Thank you so much, and have a good rest of your day. Bye-bye. I'll see you next week.
Bye-bye.